In this episode of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory, we'll look at the Scutum region and show you how to find these beautiful deep sky objects. Messier 11, Messier 16, and the Bright Emission Nebula, Messier 17. All right, let's go star hopping. Hey, hello, hi, and welcome to episode 33 of Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory. I'm Dave Hearn, and I'm totally psyched to be your host. In this series of programs, we'll show you the most beautiful sights in the night sky and explain exactly how to find them with your binoculars or your telescope. Well, looking forward to the end of this month of May, we're starting to see some amazing deep sky objects rising above the eastern horizon. The globular clusters of spring are starting to give way to the nebulae of summer, although there's still loads of globulars available for us to check out with our telescopes. Very late in the evening, you can see the stars of summer low in the east. Last week we talked about some great targets in the constellation of Scorpius, and we'll turn our gaze eastward from Scorpius to the smaller constellation of Scutum the Shield. Scutum has the distinction of being centered over a bright knot in the Milky Way, known as the Scutum star cloud. So as you would expect, this area is loaded with star clusters and other deep sky objects. To the immediate right of Scutum is the collection of amazing nebulae in northern Sagittarius, and to Scutum's left lies the constellations of Aquila the Eagle with its bright star Altair. Altair is one of the corners of the Summer Triangle that we discussed in episode 3 of Star Hopping. In the center of the Scutum star cloud lies one of the prettiest open clusters you'll ever see, and we'll check it out right after this.
Star hopping target number 1.
Messier 11, also known as the Wild Duck Cluster, is a gorgeous grouping of just under 3,000 stars, and it's one of the richest and most compact open clusters in the sky. M11 is about 14 minutes of arc in diameter, and its brightest core area is about a third of the size of the full moon. The cluster is decidedly V-shaped, resembling the pattern of a flock of wild ducks in flight as they head south for the winter. To locate M11, we'll use the bright first magnitude star Altair in Aquila as our starting point. There's a couple large hops at first, but they are to bright stars, so it won't be too scary. Okay, from Altair, move about 7 degrees to the upper right to third magnitude Delta Aquilae. Continuing in the same direction, move approximately 9 degrees to the right to the equally bright third magnitude star Lambda Aquilae. Remember, 10 degrees is the distance covered up in the sky by your fist extended to arm's length, so this last move will be just a little less than that. Now jump a quick degree and a half to the right to fourth magnitude I Aquilae. Next, moving across the border into Scutum, move 2 1/2 degrees to the right to fifth magnitude Eta Scuti. Now move about 3/4 of a degree to the upper right, and you'll be amazed at the gorgeous wild duck cluster moving into your eyepiece. M11 is pretty bright as open clusters go, with its 3,000 members shining collectively at magnitude 5.8. M11 is so rich that it can be mistaken for one of the looser globular clusters, but actually it's an intermediate age open cluster, and it's approximately 250 million years old. So we've been looking at both open and globular clusters lately, but as Monty Python says,
and now for something completely different.
Right after this.
Star hopping target number 2.
Northern Sagittarius holds some of the best emission nebulae in the sky, and our next target does not disappoint. It's the Swan Nebula, Messier 17. It also goes by several other aliases, the Omega Nebula and the Checkmark Nebula. But it's easiest to visualize as the Swan Nebula because it's easy to see the body of the swan and its curved neck and head. M17 is one of the brightest diffused nebulae in the sky. It's just visible to the naked eye under very dark skies, and it's a good test for your observing sight and your eyes. To locate M17, we'll start from the star that we hopped to just before locating M11, Lambda Aquilate. This star hop will take a little bit of effort because it requires 7 hops. So start off with the same series of hops we used to find M11. Move to I Aquilate about 1.5 degrees to the right, and then 2.5 degrees to the right to Eta Scuti. Now instead of moving to the wild duck, we'll move 2.5 degrees upward and slightly right to 4th magnitude Beta Scuti. Now move 4 degrees to the right to 4th magnitude Ionina, the brightest star in Scutum. Next we'll move 7 degrees to the lower right to 5th magnitude Gamma Scuti. Now move 2.5 degrees to the right and be ready for a pleasant surprise when the bright Swan Nebula moves into your eyepiece. Nebulae like the Swan really benefit from the use of a nebula filter on your eyepiece. I recently had a comment on the YouTube page requesting an episode about nebular filters. These are light pollution rejection filters and are absolutely required if your observing site suffers from stray urban light. The one that I like to use with my trusty 35mm Teleview Panoptic eyepiece is the 2-inch diameter Oxygen 3 filter from Lumicon. This filter passes light around the frequency of triply ionized oxygen, which is a light spectrum line that many of these nebula produce. It really increases the contrast in your eyepiece. It significantly darkens the light polluted background and leaves the light from the nebula intact. So last but certainly not least, we'll look at one of the most famous nebula after this short break.
Star hopping target number 3.
Messier 16 is also known as the Eagle or Star Queen Nebula, and it contains the famous Hubble Pillars of Creation, tall towers of nebulosity containing many stellar cocoons or prenatal baby stars. I'm sure you've seen this famous picture that rocked the astronomy world after the Hubble Space Telescope got its new corrective lenses. From M17, it's simple to find M16. Just move 2.5 degrees to the upper left and you'll spy the open star cluster and nebulous area that comprises the famous Eagle Nebula. The Eagle actually lies in the constellations of Serpens the Snake that we saw a couple episodes ago. It's not quite as bright as the Swan Nebula, glowing 4/10 of a magnitude fainter at magnitude 6.4, but that's still not too shabby. Again, the nebular filter will help seeing this target. In dark skies and with a large telescope, you can make out the famous pillars that put this nebula on the star map. Something I recently learned is that astronomers have discovered evidence back in 2007 to support the theory that a supernova explosion about 6,000 years ago actually destroyed the pillars. But we'll never know for sure because the light showing their destruction and the new shape of the nebula won't reach the Earth for 1,000 years. Space is unbelievably big. So let's review what we've seen this week. These were 3 excellent objects we found. We started off with the spectacular wild duck cluster M11 in Scutum the Shield. Then we moved into the neighboring constellation of Sagittarius to find the amazing Swan Nebula, also known as M17. Lastly, we moved into the constellation of Serpens to find the famous and apparently deceased Eagle Nebula, also known as M16, with its famous pillars of creation. So that does it for this week's episode. You can find the show notes on our website at kpobservatory.org/sh033, where you can comment and leave any questions that you may have. Well, as usual, I want to thank you so much for joining us and watching our show, and I'll see you next week with more star hopping tips and tricks.
I'm Cassie, and I hope you've enjoyed star hopping around the Milky Way. We'll continue to bring you these video astronomy tutorials every week on Thursday, and in their podcast format on Fridays. They'll be designed to help you find deep sky objects that are up in the sky at the time we post them on the internet. The reason we create these videos and podcasts is to help beginning amateur astronomers learn the sky and get more enjoyment out of their telescopes and astronomy in general. If you have any requests for potential targets in the night sky that you would like to see us discuss, just let us know down in the comments section below or on our website blog. Don't miss our free field notes for this episode, basically the script of the show, with all the images and star charts we use for our star hopping activities. You can get them for free at kpobservatory.org/field notes. If this is the first time you're checking out star hopping, and if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing to our channel by clicking the big yellow button, click the thumbs up on the video, and please share this tutorial out to your friends who like looking at stars. Also, as I just mentioned, please feel free to leave any question or comment below, and we'll be sure to respond quickly. Please follow KPO on Facebook, where we post all of our astronomical digital images, and keep everyone informed about upcoming astronomical events. We'd love to hear from you to discuss all this great stuff up in the sky. All the links to these places in cyberspace, including our website, kpobservatory.org, can be found below in the episode notes as well. And finally, if you feel this video provides you value, and if you'd like to see more, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where for a small amount per video, you can support our efforts, and help us make even more great astronomy tutorials, just like this one. So bye for now, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Star Hopping with Kissimmee Park Observatory.